Good evening, people. So, for years, I've loved knives, I've loved blades, collectibles, etc., whatever the heck else. And a few years back, I got into doing yard work as my first ever job, really. The first actual job I ever did where I went out, did something, got paid, I did yard work. I already had a Ontario 18-inch machete with me at the time. It's the only machete I ever owned. Got it from the Army Navy store inside Florence, South Carolina. And anyway, so after that, after using that 18 thick one for so long, I wanted a skinny long one. So I was looking at the usual Latin machetes they had at Cold Steel. I thought, well, that looks pretty decent. Now, besides its thickness and the average length of the Ontario machete, it had a down at the bottom square that was rounded at the top handle. So the bottom of it was square and the top was round. This right here is the handle, which I have wrapped in Ace bandage wrap, I guess you can call it. It's some type of wrap by Ace, basically, for sports gear and whatnot. And this right here is a oval, not really a circle or round fully, but ovalish, somewhere in between. Every time I see oval, I think in between square and round. Like they try to make something square and they just round it off the edges, really. And you can see how it's thicker back here, and right here is a little dip right there, inside that area. And I gotta tell you, this is not a good handle for my hand size and me personally at all. And I originally had Wilson wrap on this, but I took it off. I don't know why. That was real stupid. And I put this stuff on. This stuff is pretty close to Wilson wrap, but still not that great. And this still wiggles a little bit inside my hand back and forth. See, when I first got this thing, I did not know that Cold Steel allows you to buy them without the sheath. So I got a machete in no sheath. Had to pay extra for the sheath, basically. And this thing came dull. This was dull as can be. I had to put my own edge on this. I resharpened this different amounts of times and whatnot. And the main part I have sharpened is from the tip to about like right there. The biggest, heaviest parts of the blade I need the most. I have the most hardest time sharpening it, seems. But is it my dog at the back porch? I'll get her in a moment. It's not really perfectly straight anymore, but it still is a very tough machete. I just wish they'd have done me better on giving me a sharp machete and allowing it to be sharpened easier, which I will one day figure out on the work sharp with this, hopefully. Even though for my Jess X tool, straight SHF 43, I'm doing terrible on the work sharp because I'm not practicing enough yet with it. Now, really quickly, same handle wrap, had Wilson wrap on this too, took it off like an idiot. You know, so right here is the modern day version of the Cold Steel glass machete. This, I want it for fun. And a little bit, also possibly big chopping as well too. You can look and see a little bit of the rust on the blade and everything else. Well, the first day, under light use, that happened for me. So yeah, as usual, I'm more big of a fan of Cold Steel's special items, whatever you call the polypropylene stuff, than I am their machetes so far. Now those small version ones like the Bowie machete and all that, I love those, at least in theory and idea. I've never owned none yet. This right here, I got from Walmart for about like 30 bucks. This Gerber Barrels hatchet, I've never had a problem with. That wasn't my fault that it happened. Only one problem I had with this, I accidentally hit a nail and it chipped out a tiny bit and I fixed it. So, yeah. Alright folks, see y'all around.